mother, what you cooking, man?
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Iron Minds. Excited to be back. Lombard on the bike. Nick doing some stretching this morning because it's cold outside, y'all. And we got to keep getting after it, even if it's cold outside. Good morning, fellas.
Morning.
Good morning. How we doing? Yeah, I know Texas isn't as bad as other parts of the country right now, but I thought about layering up to go outside this morning, but it didn't really serve a purpose. I wanted to in my head because I'm like, oh, it's what I did when I was open the road. I definitely have a TikTok video I can even share, but it's just there's a purpose for where I'm at, and getting into some nice zone 2 on this bike does me some good. So why not?
Yeah, love it. Good morning, Pedro. Can you hear us?
Yeah, brother. Can you hear me?
Yeah, there you are. You going outside? Let's go.
No, bro. I am trying to set something up in my garage here, man. There is no way. Hey, I said I was gonna go outside, but it's still a complete sheet of ice in front of my house. Half the roads are still frozen, and it's completely dark. And even though I have a light, if someone was going to trip and fall live on a podcast at 5 or 6 a.m. in the morning, it's going to be me. It's going to be me.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. It's probably cold in your garage even.
No, it is, man. But luckily, dude, I don't know if we could see it, but dude, I have a little heater over here on this little stand right here.
Yeah,
let's see if we can see it. Dude, look, that heater. That heater is 25 years old, bro, and it is still pumping and going.
Nice. Yeah, this time of year, a heater in the garage makes a big difference.
That's for sure. Brother.
We're pretty.
If I was running today, I would have loved to got outside and run. It's about 41 degrees this morning, but I was on the bike, and I really don't want to get hit by cars any more than I have to. So I'm kind of saving for my time on the road for the weekend when I can drive out to a safer place to ride.
Yeah. It's currently 19 degrees here. Warming up to a balmy 31 degrees today. We got 10 inches of snow on the ground. Ooh. I got to shovel my drive the last 2 days and was actually able to do it. It's crazy. I posted about this recently. In the past, if it snowed out, man, I was just like annoyed. Like I got to go shovel the drive. It's like 2 hours of my time. My back's gonna hurt. Like I'd complain about it. And man, I was so excited to get to go do it because I feel good. A month ago, I couldn't have done it. If this storm had hit in late December, I couldn't have shoveled the drive. I was out there shoveling, took my time, of course, wasn't really in a hurry. Stomach feels good. So I was actually quite thankful and grateful. And it's amazing how perspective changes everything on something like that, And just to add to it, this walk this morning is obviously for my good friend Sarah, who sadly on Sunday passed away. Only 3 months from when she was diagnosed when she passed away. It just sucks. So again, just thankful to be alive, thankful to have my facilities, thankful to be able to go out for 2 hours in the cold and, plow the drive. And, you just got to be thankful for all the things that you have, man. Like perspective changes everything real quickly, real quickly.
Man, there's a big difference when you look out and you see that. Now, given I haven't had to plow snow in many years, but when you look at it and you look at it as the reason to not do something instead of getting up and being like, hey, look what I can do. Look what I get to do today.
Yes, that's exactly right.
I mean,
Yeah,
not for
that's-
nothing. I didn't want to get up and ride the bike either, but I am one of the privileged few who have the ability to do so and got out and did it. And I am not going to squander that.
That's right. That is absolutely correct. So yeah, man. So balmy 19 degrees to here today. I know in Texas you guys got covered with ice. How thick is the ice down there, and how long is it going to take for that to melt?
Yeah, that's what's tough. I mean, yesterday, it seemed virtually like the roads at least were fine. My backyard had a sheet of ice on it, but really what was tough is, there's still some wet spots and, some wind is picked up. So, and it got colder last night too. It was in the teens down here last night. So with it getting down to the teens, like a lot of stuff refroze again.
Yep.
So there's just black ice splotches. And it'll be cold all week. So I feel like it'll be cold. It'll still the sun will probably shine and give it some light, but I'd say it'll be in the 40s today. So it'll hopefully help a little bit more. And temperatures will start going back up, I think, like around next week, where it'll get back to like the 50s and 60s. And we'll see it kind of roping around, changing.
Yeah, man, this storm just kind of blew in, and man, it's probably the biggest storm we've had here in a long time, maybe a decade. In this part, and really hit hard south of us in Missouri, Arkansas. Nashville's covered in a sheet of ice. I saw some people reporting on that. So if you're trucking out there as well, also just park the truck. Be careful. Be careful. Not worth it. Not worth it at all.
No, never any time to do it. And Trey, definitely sorry about your friend, and let it be a reminder to anybody this time of year, especially of just in general, going, if you haven't been to the doctor in a few years, make this the time to get some blood work, whether it's blood work or anything. I mean, it's the same thing. My uncle in 2020, from 1 month after diagnosis, I mean, he got taken away from colon cancer. So it's like, if there's any sorts of, it's like a lot of this show is dedicated to being proactive regarding your health and fitness through movement and changing your habits. But great habits lying in there are getting routine blood work every 6 months with your doctor, your physical, if you've got coverage, getting to the dentist. All those things are incredibly important, whether you think you're good or you're not. It's right for you to do it. You do it for your car. You do it for your equipment when you're on the road. You do it for everything else. You've got to do this stuff for yourself, period. Because in the end, you lose. But think about the ripple effect it's having on your loved ones. And I know nobody wants to put anybody through that type of stuff when you could have prevented it.
Right. Blood work is something that you can have your doctor do that. If you don't have a regular doctor you go see, there's a lot of local doctors that will do that. It costs you a couple $100, but it's like you said, with preventative maintenance, to know that stuff, to know what's going on, is so worth it. So worth it.
Yeah. So you mentioned that, Lombard. Someone that my son works with that's kind of been being a mentor to him in the car business. Him and his wife got this whole flu thing that I think pretty much all of us on here had gotten the last few weeks, and went to the doctor's office with his wife just to get a doctor's note for work, because he had missed work because he had to stay home and take care of his wife. Doctors looked him over and they said, "Man, we think you need to go to the ER." And he said, "No, I feel fine. I just need a doctor's note to turn into work." And they say, "No, we're telling you, you need to go to the ER." So he leaves there, goes to the ER, tells them the same thing. "Hey, I just need a note for taking care of my wife." They run him through all of these scans and do all this stuff and come back and tell him, "Oh, hey, like, you don't have this illness, but by the way, you have throat cancer." So guy had no inclination of it. Now, I wouldn't say in his defense, but he has been a dipper for like 30 years, but no inclination that he had any type of cancer in his throat, no sore throat, besides the sickness and all that stuff. But goes to show you talking about, Lombard,
Guys,
go and get yourself checked out. That guy thought he was just going to get a note for his doctor, and now he's having to go through cancer treatment. Luckily, if they caught it early, he's only got to go through 1 round of radiation and I think a minor surgery. But man, go to the doctor, get yourself checked out, because you never know.
Dude, all 4 of my diagnoses were caught by accident.
Wow.
At no point did I think I had cancer, even when I went back for cancer.
That's so wild, man.
It was
so wild.
It was all for different things. Like the first time I went, it was for something completely. Never even found out what was wrong, but it wasn't the cancer causing it. The last time I went in, it was because I was getting a massage and we found something that didn't belong.
Wow. That's wild to think about. That's wild to think about. Man, so wild. Well, guys, we are coming up on the end of January of 2026. How wild is that? You know, it's 27th. You got 4 more days in this first month of 2026. And you know, a lot of people have already given up on some of their stuff. Man, it just doesn't matter. You know, it's like we always make that turn of the calendar magical, and then it just seems like a bad cycle. It's like, man, what are you gonna do today? Today's the only day that matters. You know, past days don't matter. Tomorrow's not promised. Man,
You know, most of the goals people set don't take a year. So if you gave up, start today.
Yeah, just start today.
If you want to,
Yeah.
like, oh, I'm going to lose weight, but you have 11 months left. That's
Yep.
almost a whole year. Start today.
That's right.
I would rather be 90% to my goal than 0% to my goal.
This time period right here, that 3rd week into the year, is probably where the first time anybody who's looking to really make a change is going through like their first type of growing pain, their first type of separation from where they're on that verge of quote unquote quitting, where they've maybe slipped up, they've made a few mistakes. This is that 3-week mark. But also simultaneously, I've got a lot of friends who are doing dry January at the moment, and they're already talking about afterwards. What's crazy is it's like in the same conversation, people doing dry January will talk about how great they feel, how their sleep is improved, their productivity is up, but they are talking about how they just like, but in conversation, but you know, I still just like going out and having a drink, just like having a beer and doing XYZ. And it's like, you're already that verbiage, you're already preempted, like you're pre-bailing on yourself to going right back to where you were in December or how you felt before, while you were just bragging about how great you feel. And you're just going to revert right back to that same, to your same regular habits that you're in, because you don't think it's that bad or it's not having an effect on you. But if you're already looking forward to dry January being over, then what was your intention in general? Just to like challenge yourself for 30 days and grit through it and not see what the benefits were. And then for people who aren't doing dry January, who are just trying to make regular lifestyle changes, and if you've slipped up and fell off, what is the big deal here? Like, what are you missing about locking in that is making you think that you're a failure? There's a really great purpose behind Orange Theory, certain transformation challenge. It started yesterday. They don't start it at the first of the year. They start it literally on the 26th, and it goes till March, an 8-week challenge for that purpose, to make the challenge start at the end of January, when people are already, once the rust has been busted and the yoke of the holidays has kind of been ripped off, it starts now. So right now is probably your best time.
Dude, I was just in an executive founders group.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say I was just in the executive founders group this week, where a guy who's doing dry January, and he said the exact same thing, Michael. He's sharper, his focus is better, he feels better every morning. He just couldn't believe the difference that just not having alcohol was making in his day to day. You know, and he's gonna stick it out. He's not talking about the finish, which is great. But like, man, you're absolutely right about that. Go ahead, Nick.
I have a really unpopular opinion about dry January. And here's why. You know how many people I hear this month saying, that's why I'm smoking so much weed. That's why I'm doubling up on my Xanax. It's a facade for so many people. They're missing the point. And a lot of the people, to Mike's point, on February 1st, not only do they pick up the drink, but they come back worse than when they left. So I think it's a great practice for a lot of people who want to get healthy or who want to see the benefits of it. I'm calling bullshit on an overwhelming majority of the people doing it. If you're out there hashtagging dry January every day on Facebook, but you don't comment on your health habits the rest of the year, you're full of shit.
Keep it going, baby. Keep it going.
That's my take.
Yeah, that's right.
That's my take. I think it's more about the noise than it is about the actual healthy habit.
it's almost a form of like narcissism. It's like a form of like you're purely doing it for, it's performative. You're doing it to be performative. Like that is the only reason it is, to make yourself look a little bit better during a certain time, saying, look, I can do this for a little bit, but I'm not going to go, but it still controls your life. If the idea of doing dry January and then reverting right back to your same daily habits is what happens, then it's purely performative, and you're not fooling anybody. You're not fooling anybody, and the only person you're really letting down is yourself. If you truly can't fast from something, then you're a slave to it.
Yeah. And, the truth is it also impacts everything else, because you and your brain, yourself, what's going on. If you're doing this for performance, but you're not really, committed to it and doing it, it's going to impact your confidence. It's going to impact other things when you go back to not doing it, because your brain's going to say, oh, I couldn't keep up with that. I couldn't continue. You're failing. It's like there's something that helps your brain become mentally sharp by committing to and following through with some of these things and making it really a lifestyle habit,
Now, I was listening to Atomic Habits. I'm finally getting around to that book, and I know, Mike, you talked about this a lot too, about, it's the person you want to be and the person you identify as. And, me, it's easy. I'm an alcoholic, and I identify as an alcoholic. I could say that I am not a drinker, but that would, and again, that's about my identity, not my habits. And so someone who's taking that whole month off, whoopee, that's cool and all, but so are you a drinker who just took some time off? Who are you? What's the habit that you're trying to create here? Like, what's the actual, if you're experimenting, that's fine. Again, there's nothing wrong with finding out, hey, maybe I need to take a break. This is a good time to do it. You've got the social support, some accountability and community. So I'm not saying it's all bad. There's definitely benefits to it, but I do think I think most people are lying to themselves when they're playing that game, and they're playing a game at it.
Yeah. Well, and to think about it, some people aren't sure what to do when it's over. You think, talking about the social aspect, the peer pressure aspect of it all. I mean, you just got to have a plan. And that plan could be, hey, I'm going to have water when I go out. I'm going to have a soda instead of Diet Coke. I'm going to get my own drink before somebody asks me what I want. You just have to have a plan for what you're going to do if you really want to change. Otherwise, the peer pressure, the social aspect of it, which is so crazy to me that we would let other people influence us on something that can be so detrimental to our own success and what we're doing.
Now, I do have a few suggestions for those going out who are trying to do that. Diet Coke with a lime, water with a lime. Tip the bartender early, tell him yours doesn't get alcohol, and also buy the first round. So that way, whenever someone looks and says, hey, you want a drink? You just show them yours and say, I'm already good. Yeah. You don't even have to talk about it.
Yep.
There's a great video that I believe I saw it with John Mayer, and it has to do with for anybody who is deciding to take a break from drinking, and it shows, and for anybody watching, life is like a straight line. If you picture just a straight line across a page, and when it comes to us individually, we have peaks and valleys. So across that line, so the line stays straight, but then we have our own line where we're enjoying life, and then we have valleys where things are tough. And when you're using alcohol regularly, what you're doing is you do peak, you are having fun, you're enjoying yourself, but then just as quickly you're going into that valley, you're going below the line. So it's about being above the line and below the line. And when you're regularly drinking, you're constantly above and below it, where you're chasing to get back to that normal line. Once you start to give up alcohol, what happens is you're in a little bit of those valleys, and then you start to experience those peaks. Eventually, over time, especially after that 30-day mark, 60-day mark, is the line gets a little bit straighter. There's some peaks, there's some valleys, but then eventually, after I'm almost on 2 years now not drinking, where there are no peaks and valleys, the line itself has just moved up. And another great, that line, instead of there being peaks and valleys, the line itself was moved up the page. And another great way to think about alcohol is you are making a withdrawal. Using alcohol is withdrawing tomorrow's happiness for today. You are taking away what you have, your potential, everything about tomorrow. You're taking that enjoyment for today's happiness that you don't get back the next day. You don't get it because you took that withdrawal, you took that deposit.
That is a great way to look at it, man. I love talking about like withdrawals and bank accounts. I do have my kids when it comes to trust with parents or people in authority, and that is so true, man. It's like, what am I stealing from tomorrow, just for this moment right here today? And that's exactly what you're doing when you're drinking, you're smoking, when you're going out. I've got friends who, like to do other things besides drinking. It's like you're just taking from tomorrow. You're stealing from tomorrow. That's a great analogy.
And I mean, if that's their life, and you are someone who can enjoy a beverage or two and not ruin your life in the process or make it so everything else sucks, and then good for you. I have no problem against alcohol for those who can enjoy it safely. But it's just that I do remember too, like the year before, because I started doing some 5Ks and just running and jogging a little bit before I got into Spartan, but before I got sober. And I never really drank that much at home, but if I did, it was wine. And I remember that 1 or 2 glasses of wine, that was great. But, I'm an alcoholic, so that quickly becomes a bottle and a half, which to me, drinking at home, a bottle and a half was fine. But you know it. You carry it with you all day. It's the extra calories. It's the bad sleep that we ignore. We're like, oh, I don't know, I didn't sleep so good because you had a bunch of sugar and diuretics before you went to bed. Like, why do you think you slept bad? There's no mystery here. There is. I even had to have a conversation with a friend of mine who, she was talking about how she's sick and she's like, I gotta get some vodka. I'm like, grandpa's old cough medicine is a joke, right? He died of cirrhosis. Like, alcohol does not have that health benefit for you.
Yeah. Hey, good morning, Chris. Chris says, Michael Lombard, good point. My friend, alcohol only takes, it never gives. It never gives.
So yeah, it's a thief of your time and money. It's it has like kind of like what Nick said. There's plenty of people who have dropped in and told me, they're like, yeah, but I'm still doing fine. I'm successful. I function. I go to happy hour. I have 1 or 2. I'm still working out. I'm still in great shape. That's phenomenal. It's like, but for the most part, that is also an anomaly. Like, we've got
that's not normal.
We have to look at the stats of mental health throughout this country. We have to look at the stats of metabolic health in general, obesity, chronic disease. Like, when you zoom out at 30,000 feet, it's like, great at an individual level. Sure, you've got a handle on it. It's not really a negative effect in your life. That's awesome. You're an anomaly. We have to zoom out and look at this from the macro point of view, from the bigger perspective. And for everybody, I've never met somebody who has started to abstain from alcohol and their life got worse. Was it not, quote unquote, as fun for a little while? Sure. But nobody's life got worse. Like, I never met anybody who quit drinking and got fired, lost their job, went broke. I'm sure
wife moved out. Yeah, kids don't talk to him anymore.
I've never heard that story of where somebody quit drinking and they became freaking they become only unrecognizable in a good way because of how they've changed and how it's benefited. And it's like, there's a person you can become on the other side of alcohol that you don't even know. Like, you might think it's what you need to have fun, but you are already fun as you are. Like, people just need to realize and have the confidence that who you are, raw dogging life is just as great when you're not drinking. It's just a matter of getting over that hump. And I want people to really push through that this January and keep rolling into February.
Well, I'll tell you what, man, we are also moving into, in our industry, and for most of us, trade show season. We had the Bulk Freight Conference already. We had BGSA already. SMC3 is going on right now. We got Manifest coming up in 2 weeks in Vegas. And it's real easy. It's real easy to, crank two or three nights of drinking, staying up till 12 or 1 in the morning. And you do that enough times in the spring, and you're trying to spend the rest of the week recovering, and your productivity goes way down. It's like, when you go to a trade show, you want to be as sharp and attentive and high energy as possible. I'm not saying don't go to the bars or don't hang out with people. I'm saying set some boundaries. Like you said, have a water, have something with lime, have a Diet Coke with lime or some grenadine like I have. Make sure that you're in bed by midnight every night. I mean, hardly anything good happens after midnight anyways. And so if you're like, hey, I'm out of here at 11:30, that's still plenty of time to talk to a lot of people. Go to bed, get up at 7, have a decent amount of sleep. 7:30, get up, shower, and then go crank for the day at that conference. And man, that's so important. I know our boy Hayden Allred down there in Dallas, he's at SMC3 right now, I believe. Well, at least he used to. Maybe he's not this week, but there's a lot of people I saw on social going there this week, and man, like trade shows can mess you up, man. And just
Even,
hop up to
dude, even like the day and a half that I went out to Orlando to see you and crash BCS for a minute, my week got screwed up, and I don't drink. So,
Yeah,
imagine
it's
if I was
easy.
out partying a couple days, the whole week could have gone bad.
Everything's already thrown off. You're sleeping in a motel or a hotel. You don't have your home pillow, your home setup. You're probably not going to sleep good anyways, comparatively speaking. And then you throw some alcohol on top of that, and trying to be present, talk to as many people as possible, and shoot, your week can be gone pretty quickly.
4 people. Yep, 4 people going to trade shows and going to because I'm going to Manifest too. Very excited to go to. Setting an intention before these trade shows is perfect. Instead of rushing to the start line, when like my intention going to Manifest is I am going to talk and have conversations, meaningful conversations, and like with as many people as possible. Like I'm going to be there to be making content. Like I have a purpose there. And that purpose lies within it being related to my job, and then also it being related to, how just good branding for Truck Parking Club in general is how am I going to benefit not only my job but the entire company as a whole, and that's my intention. And none of that includes, none of that requires using any sort of alcohol, but it does require me to just show up and participate in socializing. But when my intention behind it is how am I going to make myself and my company look good, that's all I care about. I don't need to numb or get myself loose enough to be able to have conversations with people who I need to be in front of, want to be in front of, to showcase who I am and who Truck Parking Club is. I shouldn't need to lean on alcohol or substances to do that.
It's so true, man. It's so good. Hey, speaking of which, so next week is a normal week here, 6 a.m. Central. But then the week after that, we're in Vegas. And I learned something the last couple of years, Lombard. The fitness rooms in Vegas don't open at 4 a.m, my friend. They're not open.
They're not 24 hours.
They're not, dude. Like of all places, you would think that fitness rooms would be 24 hours. You think could be Vegas, but they probably don't want people working out for that same reason, because they want people drinking and staying up late and all that kind of stuff. And so we may be adjusting our time on that Tuesday to accommodate that. So we'll keep everybody posted on that.
Yeah, I know somebody on the 10th is talking about a run 3 to 5 miles in front of the Venetian. So I've already seen that conversation going. I'll be tapering for Austin Marathon, so I'm excited to get a couple of days of movement. I'm going to be rolling into Manifest with Chris Thomas. So next Tuesday, next Tuesday I might still be here depending on when I fly out. But that's what's going to be awesome. Is
nice. When do you guys leave Austin or where? Waco? Yeah,
I should be flying out Monday or Tuesday, sometime between Monday and Wednesday, depending on where I'm going to meet Chris. And then we're going to drive out in his truck over to Nevada and hopefully be there, by the Super Bowl and everything, but, by next Saturday or Sunday.
Yep. Man, I've been wanting to do that for forever. When my kids go to college, Chris, I'm hopping in that truck and we're going to drive. I'll have the time to take the extra days to do that, man. I've been wanting to ride a leg of one of his trips for a long time. So that's awesome. And the new Mac truck he's got. Which is great. Dude, look at Pedro just getting after today. Silent perfection over there. Look at this. Aaron Hatfield says old school PT, Pedro.
Yeah, that's what we're talking about with Pedro. Pedro's doing exactly what Iron Minds was meant to do, showcase the people working on it. I got to tell you, I am, I'm almost 30 minutes in. I've been in zone 2 the whole time, conversational, talking. And, that's over 300 calories right there. That's, just 30 minutes right there at 300. I mean, just quantifying what you can do and how you can lose weight. And that's only just me. That's based off of my height and weight. If you're somebody who's a lot heavier and same height as me, 5'11", like that's calories are burned based off of your height and weight and age, height, weight, age, and gender. So I mean, you're talking about burning a few more. And when you're talking about calories in versus out, here's some good output. Those 30 minutes. I mean, you think the equivalent of 300 calories is a freaking Snickers bar.
That's right.
That's right. It's a freaking 20-ounce Coca-Cola, like right there.
Yeah, brownie or two you had last night. Yep.
And when if you swap those options, that soda with the diet, boom, there's your deficit. So
yep. And I'm walking at 4 miles an hour, so I'm almost 2 miles in with our 30 minutes here, and 4 miles an hour on a walk is a brisk walk. Like you're working at it. I'm sweating right now, but I'm still conversational. And man, if nothing else, go for an aggressive walk. Just push yourself walking, because that's the starting point for everything.
The ultimate gateway jog. And so if you're at that 3-week mark in January where you've fallen off, you still drank a couple of times, you did what have you, break that mentality by going for that 30-minute walk, break it up, going for that 30-minute walk, realizing that this is a game of, it's a game of chess, not checkers. There's no, we put this in that curriculum for health and fitness in schools. You eat 21 to 28 meals per week. That's 21 to 28 choices, each of them choices. So if you win 18 out of 21 of those choices, is that a passing score on a test? Absolutely.
It is where I'm from. Yep. That's right. Yeah. And, some people might say, well, hey, it's cold outside, or I don't have a treadmill. Totally get it. You probably have at least one flight of stairs in your house. You probably either have a basement or you have a second story, or maybe you have both. Dude, you can just walk up and down stairs. Your heart rate will go up tremendously just walking the steps. You don't have to run them. You don't have to, do 2 at a time. You can do 1 at a time. But if you just walked up all your steps and walked down, did that for 30 minutes, dude,
you might remember during the pandemic, but David Goggins went live and did body squats for like an hour and a half straight.
Yeah. Yeah, you don't
people
have
were just
to have
coming
a lot of
away, and
equipment.
he was just squatting. You
That's
tell me
right.
you're not going to get into a zone 2, just squatting for hours.
Yeah, and there's all kinds of different squats you can do, and you can do, lunges. You can do just all kinds of different little movements with your body weight. It doesn't require a lot of equipment or a lot of time. It's just the intention, right? It's just getting it in. It looks like we're up on our time today. So listen, wherever you're at, make sure you find your tribe, find your group. As iron sharpens iron, so one person sharpens another. Today is all that matters. Yesterday and all that doesn't matter. Resolutions don't matter. None of that matters. Today, just being active and moving matters. Just get it done today. Let tomorrow be tomorrow. We'll see you guys right back here next Tuesday on Iron Minds. Peace out, everybody.